Hello, my name is James Washington, and this is our take on the film 13th. And this is for my African American History 1, HIST 2381 course. And this is my mom.
Hi, I'm James' mom. I'm Stephanie Thibodeau, and I'm here to have a brief conversation with my son about the movie 13th that we watched together.
So, what are your thoughts on the movie?
My thoughts on the movie is being in my 40s, it really took me back to see what my mother and what my grandmother went through, and it was very informative, and it really kind of made me mad to see what all black women and black men have been through and what we continue to go through. So I was kind of taken back by the movie. What about you?
Yeah, also seeing it all happen, not being in that generation and just seeing it, it just hurts. Like knowing that it did happen and just knowing all the things that went with it, with the whole hanging, the lynching, the just all the force that came with it. It was just really hard to watch. I liked how like they organized it though, like in the film. But yeah, it was a tough topic. Do you think like did you learn anything new from it, from the movie?
What I learned that was shocking, well, it shouldn't have been shocking, but it was shocking, was the whole part about how all these major corporations that we're giving money to, like Walmart, Verizon, their backing when it comes down to Alec and playing a part in just law and order, which is very interesting because we go there daily to buy food, to feed our families, and they're putting guns into people's hands. So, yeah, that really bothered me. I never knew that. So, that was very informative to me.
Yeah, with the whole Walmart thing, I didn't know that they sell like rifles, especially during that time with it being like very known, like to go to Walmart, like everybody goes there, and then with the whole stand your ground law, that was like guns for everybody. So like it just made it worse with the crime, and then people taking like the law in their own hands also with the whole like even with the KKK organization, the open terrorism. So like I feel like it all played a part. So yeah. But how did it like make you feel like overall?
The movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that being black in America is just hard, whether it's being in court, it just feels like we don't have equal rights still to this day. Like, not much has changed in regards to, I know back in the days, like my mom mentioned, her, I don't think she was actually a slave, but like picking cotton. Like, I couldn't even imagine today
Mm-hmm.
someone telling me to pick cotton or do this, but in some ways, we are still slave to this system that I feel wasn't built for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It's tough. It was just like the whole like how it was in slavery like back in the day, or how like with like how you mentioned with the whole cotton picking, the all like the labor that they did, and then for them to like change it up to where like it's like hidden but like it's known, like with the whole prism system that they came up with, like they just like they made it okay like legally for it to like just continue, especially with the police, like how they could just beat us. No, it was like how they always said no one's above the law, but they made themselves like above the law. Like they did what they want to us, and like they made it legal, they made it okay. But yeah, so what do you think, what was the correlation between slavery and like the prison system?
Um, it's just shocking how Like back in the days, like just because you were black or non-white, you were a slave. Like born into slavery. And so like now, instead of us having a master to answer to, it's like black men and black women are in these jails and in these prisons and are just once again like slaves, like to me for no reason. Like some people do break the law, and yeah, of course, like no one should get away with killing someone or raping someone, but just to be in jail because oh you look suspicious, oh, or because you're black or you don't come from money, to me doesn't justify being a slave to the system. So I just feel
Hmm.
like, of course, we're not slaves. Like, probably my mom's parents were, but in a sense, it's still going on, like, legally in the world. And to those that are affected by it, it saddens my heart that many great men and women died for us to have equal rights, and still to this day we don't. We're still second class, like barely getting by,
Hmm.
just because of the color of our skin or who our parents were or are.
Hmm. Yeah, that like with the whole like system, they they kind of like maintained like a racial economic like system against us, and like they placed us under it. Like they like with the whole it like increasing, like back when it was like back in the 1970s, it went from 300,000. 10 years later to 500,000. 5 years later, 300 more thousand. When it reached 2000s, in the early 2000s, it reached 2 million. And like it just kept going up, like with the whole prison population. But with the whole, like they use that system to make it like a, like slavery, but like locked in, like they kind of like they recruited like us, like they got us for the minor crimes, like people getting locked up for littering, like with the young lady that got 25 to life for just transporting cocaine. uh it was a big deal, but getting 25 to life just because she's black, that's insane.
Yeah,
But
unfair.
yeah. So what's your thoughts on the open terrorism?
It bothered me. I mean, just I've watched movies like Django, and of course, I ain't never witnessed anyone being hung, but I'm like, wow, just to see that someone's mother or father was just hung, like for no reason. Like it's just unhuman to just think that one life is greater than the next life, just because a person is black. Like it's
Hmm.
okay, oh, no one will miss them. Like they don't have kids, they don't have mothers, that they affect that whole family unit by removing that person. Well, it's saying hello to a white woman,
Hmm.
or refusing like normal things today that we wouldn't stand for. But back in the day, people were hung for less.
Hmm.
So just to me, that saddens my heart to know that people lives were taken that way. And white people would go and watch it like
Hmm.
it's a form of entertainment.
Hmm. Yeah, the whole open terrorism, it was really unhumane, like for them to just get hanged in the open while just hundreds of white men, white women, kids just watch. And like it was like a play that they saw and like they're happy to see it. It's just crazy. Just like how that young man, he I guess he whistled at a woman and he got beaten by those people, and then but his mother, like, to show like it actually happened, she had the open casket
Yeah.
thing, like to show you like they actually did this just because of a woman, and it's just really crazy.
Yeah, Emmett Till.
hmm so what's your thoughts on the like segregation, like how they did the whole whites only, like we have to sit at the back of the bus, we can only drink this water. So what's your thoughts on that?
Segregation, I just think, mm, again, unfair. Just to think that white is better than black, or like we're dirty or we're burnt, like whatever the whole thought behind it is. But what I find interesting is, like, as much as people despise us as black people, like white women
hmm
pay a lot of money to have the full lips and the big backside and all
hmm
this extra stuff that we're born naturally with, even though, like, oh, our credit bad, our attitude bad, like just how we view the black community, or even men, just strong black men. It's not, oh, they're criminals, they fear us. It's just they really know what we stand for,
hmm
and they want to dim it. They don't want us, because we know what we possess,
right.
so yeah.
Yeah, with that whole thing, I it really didn't make any sense, especially when they like labeled like our leaders, like MLK for example, him being named the most dangerous man by Top Cop and the FBI. It was like he showed no like kind of force, but they will rather name him the most dangerous man in the world than a white man that will literally like kill people, but they'll name him the most dangerous man. It was like it just didn't make any sense. And with the whole whites only thing, they it was like, for what? You can't eat and see a black man from across you eat the same plate as you. It was
Yeah.
really unhumane. And what were your thoughts on criminalization?
What was that?
Criminalization.
Criminalization. When I think of that, I just think that, just say it's a normal black man commits a crime, goes to jail for that crime. He get out of jail. He can't get a job because he went to jail. Now he's a felon.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's in jail, basically that's taking a father out of the household, leaving a black woman, you know, to do play that role of mom and dad. And just in general, I think it's so easy to judge people by mistakes that they've made in the past. Not saying that all black men were innocent, but those that actually wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up without a father sometimes can be, they didn't have direction, they didn't have guidance. So when they go out there and make a kid mistake, like, you get out of jail, but now you a felon. You can't walk into a normal place and be like, hey, take a chance on me, because you're now labeled as a felon. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's criminalization, when, white men can go to jail for fraud and all this other stuff, but got enough money to get it expunged. Like some black kids go to jail and you'll never know they went to jail because their parents had the money to make that type of stuff go away. But I just think it's easier to do it to black people because we don't have the money to make it look like it never happened. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think of when I think of criminalization. What about you?
Yeah, it's really like it. It's like they know, like, let's say you do a crime, and the bond is 10,000. A black man, probably his family can't afford it to get out, so he probably has to do that time. And once he gets out, he's now labeled a felon, like you said, and then that keeps him from like voting, meaning like he doesn't get a say so in like a leadership that's like pretty big and that actually matters. So now he can't even vote. He can't get a job to provide for his family or like try to help his family. It's like done on purpose, but like legally by them, and and it just continues to get worse. And what about humanization?
When I think of that word, basically, well, I'm not gonna say it to be true, but I just think the news and the media do a really good job of making everything white right. It's uh like my heart goes out to when what happened to like Gabby Pito and just the loss, but how the news and the media can spend so much time on a white girl missing, but it's a lot of black and brown girls that go missing. Like we don't even know. We be stuck looking at like white news, like everything on the news about black people is negative. It's we're criminals, we're this, we're that,
Right.
but it's not. They humanize being white and black. Men are criminals, black women have bad attitudes, and yeah, it's just like very, we don't even pay attention to how the world portrays us, but then we don't help ourselves any by the things we portray for ourselves. So, but yeah, I don't think people do a great job of lifting us up as black people or black community. They just demoralize everything that makes us black instead of how they shine great lights on what make white people great. They don't do that. It's not portrayed in the news and the media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the first thing like they'll be quick to like, let's say there's a black star, they're quick to like say, oh, he did this bad thing, but won't like praise him on something good that he's did has done. And also like how you mentioned with the whole Gabby situation, like if it something like that happened to us, we'll only get like an Amber Alert or probably hear it on the news for that one day. But that with that whole thing that happened with the whole, like, I think a week or probably longer than that, and then turned out to be the boyfriend, the white male,
Right.
and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So like, what do you think? Like, who do you recognize like as valuable in life? Like,
Just to be honest, I feel all lives are valuable. I think if people took a step back and realized that we all breathe the same air, we all got blood running through our bodies. When we get sick, like we all need the same treatment. But I just think people are so caught up on people being different that they value white lives, because in the past when there was slavery, like white people was the masters. So they can't get out of that mentality that in their mind we're still slaves to them. So I feel all lives are valuable, but I just wish they valued black lives more.
yeah, like they say that all lives matter, but it's really not. It's not showing. Like, it doesn't look any different. Like, if a white man and a black man do the same crime, the white man always gets the favor, or like, it's never like, it's not even about like the whole, like, you get this or you get that. It's just like they don't show it. Like, it's always us getting like the less of the stick. It's like it doesn't make any sense. But as for who I value, I believe all lives matter, but it's just, I could say Black Lives Matter, but they don't, they could hear it, but they wouldn't like understand how what I mean by they don't show, like how we was talking about with the Gabby thing. They don't show that we matter by putting our stuff out for a week, helping us find this black man or black woman that's missing. They just don't show it. Just like how you said with the whole like white news, it doesn't make any sense. So what's your thoughts on the whole Alec situation?
I just think it's unfair that money just money is everything, and when you got money and lobbyists that can just have a thought or like, hey, I just think law and order should be this, and so they pay all this money to these Republicans, and their thoughts, their views, their wants become law. Like what happened to Trayvon Martin. Like for me to be a mother, like you're 20 years old, and just the thought of you going to the store to get a drink and get a snack, and you don't come home to me. I just feel like no man should feel justified in literally calling the cops, following a kid, but in his mind, oh, he looks suspicious. And the people tell him not to follow him. He continues to follow him. And Trayvon Martin is gone. Not because he was walking around with a gun, like he had a drink and a candy,
Yeah.
but just because he was black and to someone else, he appeared suspicious. Wrong place, wrong time. But the guy get off because, oh, even though he followed and trailed him, they told him not to approach the suspicious person because of Alec. Just rich people once again getting what they want. Like, oh, we have the right to stand our ground. But what if the roles were reversed?
Right.
And it was a black man following a white kid? Like, I don't think it would have played out the same. So I don't think it's fair that groups like Alec exist and we pay into it. That what really upsets me. Like those major corporations like Walmart, PG, Verizon. Like we pay crazy money to keep these business like booming, but literally they're giving money to really kill us, kill our loved ones, and they get off with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the whole like Alec situation, it's crazy. Like it's so in Florida, that's their law. Like stand your ground. If you feel threatened, you basically have the right to kill whoever like you feel is a threat. But in that situation, like Zimmerman, he was just the neighborhood watch following a 17-year-old kid, Trayvon Martin, and he literally just had a Arizona and Skittles in his hands, and he felt threatened and shot him after the policeman that he was speaking to said to stop following, help is on the way, but he didn't need any help because he was not the threat. If anything, Trayvon Zimmerman was the threat to him.
Right.
And
he took his life for no reason.
Can't have him back now.
You're 20.
Mm-hmm.
You're black male, raised by a single mother, and to see Trayvon Martin like not here anymore and watching the movie 13, which was a lot for me in my 40s. So as a black man, how does that make you feel to know, like from slavery to the prison systems to now, like this a world we're living in where you can be innocent and guilty at the same time just because of your color? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like at any time you could be next, or someone that you know could be next. It's like it's not fair just because of my skin tone. It's like, especially how like the law is set up, they'll use it against you or not use it with you. Like with the situations like this, like how you mentioned with if the roles were reversed, it's just not fair. It's like I could one of these days I could be in Walmart getting groceries for you, situation happened, and then I'm gone, and then no justice served for James. It's it's not a good feeling at all. But it's a cycle that people say like they're trying to end, but story after story, George Floyd is it just continues.
Yeah.
So how do you so like why do you feel that like the black community is like weak or like how do you feel about it? Like
I just think when people, and when I say people, white people, judges, whoever is in a position to make things right, and instead of making sure that justice is served, you're judged by the color of your skin, just like everything that Martin Luther King stood for. It's just moms are in jail, dads are in jail, and when you remove somebody from that family unit, you have little boys that grow up with no guidance, no nothing. So that's what makes the black community weak, when we remove mothers and sometimes fathers, and it leaves one person or a mom with a grandmother, like in our situation. My mom stepped up and was that other person, and it can be done with a single mother. All the time, it doesn't take a strong woman and a strong man, but the whole thing is when people are going to jail for senseless acts, like things that don't cause like life in prison, or just because you don't have money or great representation. So I just feel like they hate us so much. They don't think about the aftermath of sending that black man to prison. They don't think about that mother, his wife, his kids, and just that whole community built around them.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. Like just because like they did it to us, but we can't even like have a peaceful like march without getting like raided by police, getting hit, telling us to go home. It's like we're not the ones, like we're not picking up weapons and trying to kill like a whole race. Like we had like groups like the KKK taking us down one by one. Our anger isn't like, we have like every right to feel the way we feel, but we don't like respond the way how like we were treated. Like we're not even using violence. We're just using our voices, and we're still getting like killed and attacked, getting thrown in jail. Like how you said, breaking up families. It's like it doesn't make any sense. But as for like being the as for like our community being how it is it's just something that it's just hard, but hopefully one day we could turn it around. So like what are your thoughts on the CCA, like with the whole prison system with them?
Yeah, I just think it's unfair how they're moving prisons now to your home, like having people tracked by GPS and ankle monitors and different things like that. But it's just that mental manipulation to think like, oh, well, he's just a prisoner in his home now and not actually in, a building where, he don't have access to his family and all this other stuff. But I mean, I just think with the movie 13, like how Ava DuVernay, took the time out just to shed light on what's going on today, what's going on, what has went on in the past. It makes you angry. Well, it makes me angry. To think that we still fighting that same fight, and if things will ever get better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good we have people that use their platform, to let people know like what has happened, what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to be a part of the change, and I thank God every day that so far, God willing, we haven't had to encounter that. Us
Mm-hmm.
both just being, black. We just so far blessed. We ain't have to deal with it, but just to see other black mothers losing their child, it just really hurts me just because, they're black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with the whole like private like prison system. It was like how you said with the minor crimes, just getting shoved into the jail just so they could put you out and then put you under house arrest. That's like they feel like, oh yeah, it's good for them, but I don't think they see like the why. Like you put me in jail for all these years for like littering, like with the whole like transporting thing. Uh it just doesn't make any sense how like you could be locked up for so long for the minor crime just for how you to get out, be under house arrest, be
Mm-hmm.
labeled a felon. Like it stops you from a lot of things, and it's, it doesn't make any sense.
Anything else you want to add in closing?
It was a good film, but the whole topic it's just hard knowing that it happened, and like certain stuff is like continued. Like it's just a fight. It's like a non-ending fight, really.
I won't
Just
say
being black.
non-ending because
It's
you're
like,
young, baby. You could grow up and change the
yeah,
world. It's not non-ending.
mm,
Yeah, we just got to believe that one day it's going to get better. And it will get better. It's just the fight continues.
yeah, you're right. Hmm. Well, that is our take on the 13th film, and thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.